recording to the cloud. All right. So again, welcome everybody. We're so glad you're here for another Club Officer Training Roundtable. My name is Scott Brown. I am the Program Quality Director here in District 11 in Indiana and Northern Kentucky. We're so glad you are here tonight. So the reason we do these is twofold. One, it is to help you all have an opportunity to ask and answer questions. And second, and probably more importantly for everybody out there, this is a great way for you to ensure that you get credit for your club officer training towards your DCP goals. Now, the reason why we do this, so let's make sure everybody understands why we do this in the first place, to why we are having this follow-up to all of the video training that we have out there. A year ago, when we were still able to meet in person, it's almost time to stop saying a year ago now, but a year ago when we were still meeting in person, Toastmasters said, we are an in-person training organization. We will always meet in person for all of our trainings. And then last March happened. And we all know what happened in the past year. All of that we are in person became not so much in person. It became a little bit less personal, a little bit more socially distanced. So because of that, then Toastmasters said, well, wait a minute, all of our clubs are meeting online. Can we do training online? And the club said, absolutely. So Toastmasters International came back and said, well, we think that we still want to make sure that there is an opportunity to ask questions. So we want there to still be a live component to the training. We want to make sure there is a live component to all of the training that is out there. So if you're going to do any kind of video recording, you have to also ensure that there is a live component, which the Club Officer Training Roundtable is the live component for that training. That's why we are doing it this way. It brings everyone together. It gives us all a chance to see each other in person. Even though we're not physically together, we are together in spirit. And I like to think that that counts for something. And this is the best way to be able to make sure everybody gets credit for it. So that's why we're doing this. So this is an opportunity for you to be able to ask questions, to get questions answered. I have a couple of things that I definitely want to go over tonight. But I want to open it up first to all of you. So if any of you have questions that you brought tonight that you want to have answered, I would love for you to unmute yourself and feel free to ask away. And Kyle Baker, I believe that you said you came with questions specifically for tonight. So what can we answer for you, Kyle?
Certainly, thank you. My club recently threw out the idea of taking on elections coming here at the end of the month, heading into March, right before we would submit membership dues. But upon further inspection, I noticed on the Toastmasters International website, it actually has an article about club elections and officers that terms must run through a specific time, as in elections are held only during a specific time, or can you still host elections whenever? It's just that term is a specific time.
That is a fantastic question, and it's one of the most common questions we get about elections. So the Toastmasters year begins on June 1st. That means that the year runs June 1st to May 31st. So the election term, if you're going to do yearly offices, which you guys do is yearly offices, they wouldn't take office until June 1st. However, you are more than welcome to have elections anytime before that. If you want to start with, if you want to start doing elections prior to that, it's okay. They just know that they can't take office until June 1st. You're welcome to be able to do that early if you would like to. David Wilkins, if you care to unmute yourself, I see you waving frantically there in the background.
Doesn't the Toastmaster year run from June 30th to July 1st instead of June 1st?
You know, I do think you're right. I do think I misspoke on that. I do believe you are right, David. Yeah, that actually does sound more correct. I am wrong. As I was saying, I was like May, but I think that's right. No, I'm wrong. June 30th. So the Toastmasters year runs July 1st through June 30th. So you can have elections whenever you would like to. They just can't take office for a while.
Don't they normally install new officers during the month of June to take office on July 1?
It depends on the district. It depends on the division. It depends on the area. There are a number. It is actually more common for districts to install officers after the start of the year than it is to install officers before the start of the year. There are some areas, some divisions that traditionally, like we're a little bit ahead of the gun when it comes to some of that, compared to some other districts. But it does not have to be done until the month after everyone takes office.
Thank you. That clears it up for me, Scott.
Sure. Thanks, David. That we also have our spring conference a month before most people do as well. So we tend to push stuff up a little bit earlier than what a lot of folks do. So Kyle, elect away whenever you would like to. And I do believe that in March, I will be able to actually start coming back because my schedule for a lot of this training stuff starts to really wrap up in March. And I'm looking forward to coming back and helping you all out some with that. So if you want to wait till then, you're more than welcome to. Just let me know.
We look forward to seeing you back.
Cool. Thanks, man. Mr. Wilkins.
Concerning the dues and continued membership, this last year has been a terrible year for continued membership. Is it still a minimum of 8 on April 1st that we have to have to be a viable club?
Right now, I'm going to say as we speak, the answer is yes. But I do know there are a number of conversations out there. I do know there was even a letter submitted from a bunch of district officers from around the world that are trying to get that changed for this year to waive the minimum amount for clubs and to kind of push back the not needing to have 8 members at the end of the term this time. When you look at our district, we lost about 40 clubs during the last dues period. We're going to lose a number again during this dues period. And it makes sense. We understand that life happened. This is not what anybody signed up for. We get that. I believe that there will be something that comes out from Toastmasters International that will give some relief to clubs by the end of this dues period, but they're not ready to say anything to us yet. So all I can do, David, is answer you with what we know as we sit here right now. And the answer is yes. They still have to have the 8, but I would not be at all surprised if that changes over the next couple of months.
Thank you. Because of the contest coming up, if we have a contestant for the contest and we don't have the 8 members, he's not viable to compete at any level beyond the club.
Correct. That is absolutely correct. Right now, they've not changed that rule one bit. Right now, they're holding firm to that. So the real question is, like, we're in contest season right now. How many of you have somebody going on to an area contest? So if you have a club that's going into a member that's going into an area contest, and you don't get the 8 members to be a club in good standing, they're technically ineligible to be able to win at an area contest. We are very much hoping that we hear something back soon. This exact question is what was posed to Toastmasters International, and it was really framed, I think, in a really good way, that why are we penalizing the members that have stayed around and invested in us over the past year when others left? And we're kind of penalizing those that are fully invested as opposed to those that aren't. So I think that there's going to be something coming out here before too long. But right now it is 8, and we are starting area contests this weekend. This weekend's kind of the first big week. I think we have 7 area contests on Saturday, which is a lot. But as of right now, you have to have 8 in order to qualify, though, for the dues period. So if you competed out of a club that ends up not being in good standing, it doesn't mean you weren't good standing now, but it means you wouldn't be in good standing then at that point, after the dues period is over, at that point, the person would become ineligible to move forward at that point.
All right.
It's not retroactively enforced, though. So it's not that, if you won your area contest, then they shouldn't have gone on to division. Based upon the amount of members you have now, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's true. That because up until March 31st, what we've got on the books now is the valuable ones. It's going forward beyond April 1 when there's a district contest in the offing.
Correct. And most divisions will have their contests by then as well. So it's really going to impact those folks going to the district finals more than anybody else.
Okay.
We don't know, though. We really don't know. This is an unprecedented year for a lot of that.
It's unprecedented for everybody in the world.
For everything, yes. Just everything. Very good. Thank you for that, David. Kyle, you said you had questions, and you asked one. Are there more questions that you have, or was there just one for elections?
That was my primary concern, was just making sure that I didn't do something that was out of the Toastmasters bylaws or went against Toastmasters International in any way. I wanted to make sure that we were clear when we did our elections, or at least when we signed our officers up, to make sure that we weren't doing something we weren't supposed to.
Okay. You're perfectly fine. So good. All right. I'm glad we answered that for you. I just wanted to make sure we didn't leave you hanging with something else. Cool. Kay, how can we help you, my friend?
Well, I listened to Valerie Rice's seminar today on VP of Membership, and she talked about the meetup, doing meetup. And admittedly, I've heard of meetup, but I haven't been utilizing it. And is there anyone that would like to talk about how they have used meetup in their club, how you get started, and what benefits you've had from it?
Does anybody else have a history with meetup besides me? So you've been hearing from me. Michelle.
Hi, Kay.
Hi.
When we started our new club, Brick Street, Toastmasters in Zionsville, we had our own meetup account, and we did get some movement through that particular site. It is costly for somebody to do just on their own. And over the last few years within our area, we've combined on the meetup so that there are several clubs in the same area. So there's like cost savings by joining on with other people in your area. I might explore that as an option just because cost, especially at this point, since we're virtual and we have less members, so less local dues. I think that might be a benefit to find out from the area director how they can help guide. But we did have good movement through that. We always had guests from just community source by using that method, and I really liked having it. But with the group, you just have different days and times in different areas for the different clubs.
I didn't realize there was a cost involved.
Yes. So hold on. So do you guys realize that there's a district meetup account? Everybody has district access to district meetup accounts?
That may have been the one that we joined or tried to join. Okay. So under Holly was taking care, Holly Eustace was taking care of it for us for a period of time.
Candace takes care of them now for the district. Okay. There are district meetup accounts, so it's not actually a cost to you. It's something that the district foots the bill for.
Okay.
And we do that because we want to try to drive some traffic to clubs. So if you have your own meetup account, I completely get why you would do that. I know I come from a background where the clubs in Florida almost all of their own meetup accounts, but they're bigger clubs. They're significantly larger on average than what the clubs are here. A small club in District 84 is 20 members. A large club in District 11 is 20 members. So there's a difference when it comes to cost savings. Who can afford to do that? So use the district one first. Meetup is really good when we can meet in person. It is fantastic when you can meet in person. From history this year, the clubs that have the best luck in attracting visitors from online have been using LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been huge for clubs that have attracted members from an online format. And the reason for that kind of simple. How many of us know somebody that had a career change in the last year? Like most everybody at least knows somebody that had a career change in the past year. And LinkedIn is where all those folks that have career changes are looking to go to either to network with people, to find recruiters, to research companies. And if you use your club, and LinkedIn is free, so if you create a LinkedIn page for your club, then that talks straight to your club, and then you can, as you utilize LinkedIn more and it starts to show up more in searches, it helps draw people in directly to you. And and if you do it in a way that shows a value benefit for, if I join Toastmasters, here's what I'm going to get from it. I'm going to learn how to answer interview questions, which is basically table topics. I'm going to learn how to use Zoom because everyone's doing this thing now and I don't know how to do that. I'm going to get to learn how to practice speaking to a white light instead of to a person. I'm going to get practice with online platforms that I may not have ever heard of before. So if you have a club that uses Jitsi or uses GoToMeeting or something else, all those things are great advertising tools to helping somebody fail in private so they can succeed in public. When we get back to meeting in person, I highly recommend Meetup. Okay, I think Meetup is a fantastic tool. It's how I found Toastmasters in the first place. But it's really driven towards face-to-face contact. It's not so driven towards electronic contact.
And with LinkedIn, I closed my account because I'm retired and I don't care about. So do I need to kick back in a personal account or just do a just do a LinkedIn account for my club?
Just do one for your club.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, start with one for your club. If you don't want one yourself, no need to have one. Start with one for your club. And the more that you're active on LinkedIn for your club, the more that it's going to show a value-added benefit for those guests out there that are trying to figure out what to do next in this crazy world that we have right now. Very good question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. And Michelle, get hold of Candace Williams. She's the one that manages all of the district meetup accounts. And if you still want to go down that path, definitely do it. 100% do it. But Candace can help you out.
All right. Thank you.
Sure. Fantastic. What other questions are out there for you that we'd like to answer for you tonight? Who else having success in drawing guests into your meetings? Who's having some success with that right now? What are y'all doing? Michelle, Margot, what are y'all doing?
Some of it is personal invites. It tends to be our newer members bring other people that they know on board more than the people that have been a part of the club for a while. So that's where we've gotten quite a bit. We've gotten a few, like you said, Scott, we've gotten a few through job transfers into the area. And then they just Google searched and met with several clubs, and virtually you can easily visit a couple of clubs within a week and see where you feel like you're a good fit.
Fantastic. Very good. So what you're saying is there's still a personal connection in Toastmasters? Oh my goodness. That's so exciting. Yes. Margo, what are you all doing?
I work within a corporate company, and that's how we do it's a Toastmasters club inside the corporate company. So we have a new hire orientation, and we will our president of the company will speak at new hire orientation and give them a piece of paper and information, and she always makes fun of me because I go after her because I also speak in the orientation, and she'll be like, if you look in the back, of course I've always had to speak after her. So she'll say, if you look in the back, you'll see Margot, who used to hide in a corner and laugh during Toastmasters meetings. And you can be like her and speak in front of new hires one day.
That's awesome. I love that.
We have that kind of personal connection within our new hire orientation. It kind of makes people laugh. And we have different departments where people, if there's a speaker, the departments will invite some of their friends within a department. And then they actually stick around for a while. We have a lot of guests that we're just really hoping they'll be a member soon, but a lot of people who stick around.
Very true. So for the corporate clubs, I have a follow-up question to that. How many of you in corporate clubs are working with your senior leadership to make Toastmasters part of development plans because we are right in the middle, for most companies, right in the middle of performance evaluation time. And this can be a wonderful opportunity to help develop a next generation of leaders at an organization. Who doesn't want an organization, who doesn't want somebody in your company that's able to invest in helping somebody else grow? If you work for a company that doesn't want other people to grow, I would look for a new job now. But if you position Toastmasters as, this is a great opportunity to help develop leadership skills, develop organization skills, develop management skills, develop speaking skills, develop off-the-cuff speaking skills, to get more comfortable talking to strangers, because let's face it, sometimes we get shy. So and Margot's smiling like, I might know someone like that. Using Toastmasters as a way to present to an organization to say, here's how we can help you grow your base to become more effective. There's a bunch of corporate clubs out there that have done that, and when they've been able to put that onto performance evaluations in connection with, they've gotten a bunch of guests and a bunch of new members through that. So if it's an opportunity, consider that. It could definitely help. Very nice. Very good job, Margot. I appreciate that. Thank you. Anybody else having luck? Okay. Yourself?
We have had luck. We have a blog. Of course, it hasn't been real active recently, but we have a blog that many times people will say they've gone to and checked out what goes on during a meeting, and so they feel comfortable. And then we've just been getting a number of club leads, and we've been quite fortunate. We've nurtured them, and they've joined. So it's been pretty exciting on that level.
Very nice. Thank you. That is great news.
They also have been attracted to us for our name, Peace Speakers. And quite a few times people will say they sought us out just for that reason alone. And maybe that has something to do with the chaos and the discord in our country right now.
I like that. Very nice. Trying to find some peace in their life. I appreciate that. Good marketing. I don't know if you planned that ahead of time, but very good marketing. Appreciate that. Who else has had luck finding members over the past couple months? Denise.
I'm actually a new member too. It's just about a year since I joined Toastmasters. And in our club, at least at every meeting, there's at least one visitor. In fact, at our last meeting, we had 3 guests from all over the world. What was that? Singing Stands Club.
Very nice. And you're up in Division A, correct?
I believe so. Yes.
You're up by Gary, up in the northwest part of Indiana, right?
That is correct.
Yes. Very nice. Congratulations. That's very cool. How many of you have gone on to the on to Toastmasters International and put your meeting information, your online meeting information in? So when somebody is looking for a club to visit, they can find you online. How many of you have done that? Very good. If you've not done that yet, if you go to Toastmasters International, and down in the very bottom right corner, you'll find club information on the Toastmasters International site for your club. There's an opportunity where you meet. You can put in that you're a hybrid club, and you can also enter in there your Zoom account or whatever it is that whatever meeting you're using, whatever platform you're using for your clubs. I still highly, highly, highly recommend, no matter what platform you're using, enable the waiting room feature. Enable the waiting room feature, because that enables you that if you have put people in a waiting room before a meeting starts, it's harder to get Zoom bombed, because you can then admit people, and if you don't know somebody, you can know who's coming in and out of your meeting. It's a lot safer for you, so you don't have to worry about that dreaded Zoom bomber coming in and disrupting your meeting and having to kick them out. But put your meeting information on there. There's a lot of folks out there that have found international clubs that way, and international members that way over the past 6 months. David, I see you unmuted yourself again.
I hadn't muted myself. I don't know.
Okay, never mind.
We don't have any brand new members right now, but we're certainly working with those that we do have. We have a couple really involved people who know about the Zoom business. In fact, they're the ones that had set up our Zoom account. And we're usually getting, last week in the library, we had a Zoom meeting on the screen and we had 8 people in the audience. So it was a combined meeting and we had evaluations from one side to the other. And one speaker was also Zoom speaker and the other one was right there in the room.
Very
So
nice.
we're trying to use as much as we can of these new technologies. And they seem to be working okay. But Entry Wayne is a club that would much rather be meeting in person live in the library. And I think that we're all really that way. I mean, I think that's what Toastmasters is. Person to person, live, warm people standing up in front of a group, talking to other live, warm bodies, not a big fisheye that's out in front of you that you have to talk to and pretend it's a person. But it works. So we're doing
Completely
okay.
agree. It's just during this time, we're doing what we can with what we have. So Dave brings up a great question, a great point. How many of you? Oh, or I'm sorry, Samsung S has her hand raised, and I'm so sorry, I don't know who you are though.
I'm Carolyn Watts, and
Hey, Carolyn.
I was trying to type my name in, and it jumped, and then next thing I know, I can't figure out how to become Samsung. But Carolyn Watts, I'm at Golden Gavel here in Indianapolis. Uh, I went online and I got some club leads from Toastmaster International, and matter of fact, I didn't see their names until after we had our meeting today. So I will be, contacting them by email and also, attempting to call them. But I don't know how they get our name, and but that's something I noticed recently.
So the way they get your name, when somebody goes on to Toastmasters International and does the Find a Club, and then they say, oh, this is an area that I'm interested in, and or you have an interesting name like Singing Sands or one of them, or Peace Talkers. They look on the club, and then they hit Connect to Club, and that pops up an email, and that's how you get the email then.
Okay.
So they're finding you from the Find a Club feature from Toastmasters
Find the
International.
club feature.
Yep, that's how they're finding you, which is good that they're finding you. That's awesome. So David brought up a really good point. David brought up when he started talking about hybrid meetings. How many of you are looking forward or looking towards doing hybrid meetings when you can get back together? How many of you know what a hybrid meeting is?
One little of each.
Okay, so about half of you know what a hybrid. All right. So a hybrid meeting is a meeting that's going to be both Zoom-based and in person, meaning that you're going to have some folks that are looking at you through a camera and some folks that are looking at you because they are right in front of you. It's a hybrid. It's a kind of the best of both worlds. How many of you have been to the District 11 website to see all of the trainings that are out there? Who knows where that is? The education link. Kyle's like, yes. Okay. This is something that everyone should have their hands up, because in order to come to the roundtable, you were supposed to have gone to watch one of the videos before you came. So if you haven't done that, here's how you do it. So the District 11 has a website, and on our website, we have stored all of our district trainings. So this is the landing page for our website. How many of you have seen this Toastmasters District 11 website itself? A couple of you? Fantastic. All right. So on the left-hand side here, if I scroll down a little bit, see where I'm going around here? Education Session Video Library. You see where I'm looking here? Education Session Video Library? Thumbs up if you see where I'm circling over here on the left. Very good. If I click on that, we're going to go to a page on the website that is a link to the Education Library. And there's halfway down here, District 11 Education Library, halfway down here, there's a Club Officer Training playlist. It's a private playlist. How many of you can see where I'm circling here? Club Officer Training playlist. See where I am here? If you click on this hyperlink, this takes you to all of our trainings, to everything that is out there. There's a couple of things in here that I think are really important for all of us to be focusing on right now. First, contests. If you're confused to how we're doing contests, if you're still trying to figure that out from an area standpoint, we have some videos out here on what we've learned from contests, how to host online contests, all of that about how to actually do contests. Then we have all of our club officer training for each of the individual roles. So VPPR, treasurer, sergeant at arms, on and on. We have all 14 trainings. So 7 from last June, 7 again from November. We have all 14 of those saved here. So you can go watch the training for your individual role. Or you can go out and learn about other things that are important for your role as an officer. Things like Pathways Base Camp. If you're a base camp manager, a president, a VPE, or a secretary, important to know how to manage base camp for Pathways. Question and answers for Pathways. Then we have keeping track of online meetings. And then here we have from LOT, Leadership Outreach Toastmasters, how to hold effective hybrid meetings. Now, Leadership Outreach Toastmasters has been doing hybrid meetings for years. This wasn't new for them. This is something that they've just always done because they have a bunch of members that don't live in Indianapolis. They're all over the state. They're all over the district. So a lot of the former district directors, district governors, district officers. This link right here in the middle, how to hold effective hybrid meetings. If you're looking to go hybrid, this is a really good place for you to start to how to actually do a hybrid meeting. The second place to go after you do this, go visit a club that's doing hybrid meetings. A place like Anthony Wayne is doing hybrid meetings now, we just learned tonight. We know that LOT does hybrid meetings. We know that the Ivy Tech club that meets up in Division A, they were founded with the hybrid philosophy. Valerie Race's club up there. So go check out the hybrids that are out there, and you can start to see in action a little bit about what it is, and this gives you a good background of how to actually manage it. Other thing on the training that's kind of important here, we have some demonstrations for recommendations for non-Zoom accounts. Now, there is going to be a drop dead date that we are going to end up transitioning away. We're going to end up moving folks off of the district Zoom accounts for your club meetings. Okay? It's not for district stuff. So areas can still have contests on there. Divisions can still have contests on there for club meetings. And here's why. Toastmasters International doesn't want to be in the business of dictating or supporting where and when clubs meet. They want that to be part of club business. So there was never any time that in the past, I don't know how many years, decades probably, that there was never a time that Toastmasters International paid for rooms for clubs to meet. So let's say that you met at a restaurant and it was going to be $7 per head to meet at the restaurant. TI didn't foot that bill. The clubs did. It's kind of the same thing now that we're meeting online. Toastmasters International doesn't want to be in the market of controlling when and where clubs meet. That's not what they see their role is as an organization. We've allowed it to last far longer than what we were supposed to. We were supposed to get to wean clubs off of this process by October 1st last year, not this coming year, last year. So it was make sure everyone was off by October 1st, and we said, we'll let it go till November, then December, then March. So we want you to start weaning yourself off of this because over the next couple of months, it will definitely go away. Toastmasters International has made it very clear that we're one of the last districts out there that's still supporting club meetings at a district level. And they're like, you guys got to get rid of this. This isn't the way it's supposed to work. So here are a couple of demonstrations that if you don't have another Zoom account, nobody has a Zoom account, here are some other options that are out there that are free that might work for you. Facebook Rooms, Jitsi, free conference call. We're not saying anyone's better than any other one, but we tasked Tyson Smith, who is the division director for Division A. We said, hey, go out and find some of these, test them out and see what they're like. And he tested probably a dozen different platforms, and these were the 3 that he liked the best. that he thought was the most sustainable, the ones that would be most user-friendly for anybody, for any club that's out there, except for Zoom. We all like Zoom. And if you have Microsoft 365, then Microsoft Teams is actually a fantastic platform also, but you have to have Microsoft 365 to do that. So here's some options that you can start to look through. Watch the videos and see if any of them are appeasing to you whatsoever. Mr. Wilkins, what say you?
I've got to go. I would thank you for this training. It's been pretty effective, and I think it's been very helpful to me. So
Okay.
thank you very much. Okay,
All
you
right,
take
Dave.
care now.
I'll see you on a Thursday. Take care.
Okay, that'd be great. We'll look forward to it.
Very good.
Bye all.
All right, so by going through and checking some of these out, you'll really get a gist of what else is out there to see if there's another one that works for you. I'm not going to say that on March 1st, it's going to all just drop. We know that's not going to happen. But we have to start getting out of that business rather quickly because TI is certainly not happy that we're still there. So let's start with part of the training that's out here. The other stuff that's out here, we have the Ambassador Program, Fall Education Week, all of the trainings that were through there, all of the keynotes that we've had over the course of time. Back in the fall, we had Fall Education Day, or we have Fall Education Week. That's all on here. When we had the Great Education Series back in March, all of that is on here too. So we're up to 73 videos right now. This will be 74, and I think I have a couple more to post that are sitting out there too. So we're probably sitting like 75, 76, 77 videos right now. That's a lot. Don't feel like you have to watch them all. 77 hours of training is ridiculous. Don't do that. That's nuts. But it gives you choices of being able to go out and look for which ones you think are most beneficial to you. Go find the ones that work for you and check those out. And we'd love to get some feedback on what you like. You can tell that folks are doing it. We've had 807 views in the last 6 months, which isn't so bad. We've had 800 views of 73 videos in 6 months. That's really not that bad of a deal. This is something that will last. This was something that will keep going forward. This is the 2021 Club Officer Trainings. Next year, we're just going to start a brand new playlist. And we do it as a playlist so that it's a little bit private for everybody. Next year's, I know it's going to be crazy, but we're going to call it the 2021-2022 Club Officer Training Playlist. I know it's a novel concept, but part of this is we want to keep a knowledge management base. So when folks leave Toastmasters, we don't lose everything they learned when they walk away. We want to help them be able to retain that knowledge. And this is the start of how we're going to retain knowledge, is through these videos and through stuff that we can keep online, archived. So future generations have the benefit of everything that we've learned over time. So any questions about the playlist out here? Any questions about how this works, where it is, what to do with it? Since you're at one of these, how many of you have gone out and actually watched the video so far? All right, how many of you are going to go out and watch the video? It's got to be one or the other. So either raise your hand for the first one or the second one. Just pretend you're going to watch the video. So if you haven't watched it yet, please go out and pick a video to watch, and it'll help you out. Second thing I want to show everybody here, we have a district calendar. How many of you know that we have a district calendar? Thumbs up if you know we have a district calendar. Some of you, okay. So we are actively working at outsourcing somebody to build us a better website, because let's face it, this looks like it was created by someone's 4th grade nephew. It is very basic. It works kind of. So we're trying to get something that's a little bit more professional. So when we draw people in and they go to the District 11 website to see what Toastmasters is, they see something better than this. So the district calendar will always live on our district website. This shows when stuff is happening. So if you take a look at what is happening right now, we know we are in Last Chance Club Officer Training Roundtables for this week. We have 3 days of training here. And then this weekend, we have Area 12, 14, 41, 51, 52, and 53 contests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 area contests scheduled for this Saturday. Lots of stuff going on. This is the calendar that we use for everything. So every training that's out there is on here. If you scroll down to next week we're doing some storytelling. We have a trio meeting for me, Gene, and David. A little more storytelling, and then we start to have a few more area contests. We have with 63 and 66 area. We have area 11, 21, 23, 24. There's a lot of contests that are happening out here. From a training standpoint, if you want to know other trainings, flip over to March, and you can see that we have a couple of trainings that are happening through March. We do start to wean ourselves off of trainings because then we start to get into division contests. And if you look to April, April is contest week. April is spring contest week and conference week. How many of you remember Fall Education Week this week? Anybody go to Fall Education Week this week, this year, back in November? So we used to have what we called Fall Education Day. It was a single day. It was held in a hotel. We had one day with a bunch of trainings, a bunch of cool speeches, a bunch of cool presentations. It was a lot of fun to go to, but you had to drive to go there. And let's face it, not everybody wants to drive to the four corners of our district. Last year, 2018, was in Fort Wayne. This year was supposed to be in Louisville. Not so convenient for anybody. So instead of having it just in a place, we put it online and we did an entire week. We did 2 presentations on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday, 1 on Friday, because we know y'all have lives, and just 1 on Friday was more than what most people could bear. So we did 9 presentations for Fall Education Week. For the conference, we're doing the same thing. We're going to have 2 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday. Friday, we're going to have a couple of trainings, and then we also have the finals of the evaluation contest, and Saturday, keynotes and a couple of trainings, a business meeting, and Saturday night is the International Speech Contest finals. So week of the 19th through the 24th, you're going to want to tune in once in a while to go check out some trainings that are here this week, because there's a lot of stuff happening. Everything we've done this year is on the calendar. So if you arrow back, you can see what we did in March, what we did in February, what we did in January, a lot of trainings on there, what we did in December, even though it was December, we still did a bunch of stuff. November, Fall Education Week, October. We've been doing trainings a lot this year. We have had a ton of opportunities to come learn stuff. This is the calendar to go to figure out what's happening and what's out there. Now, I have to give you a quick disclaimer though. If you live in the central time zones, we have 2 time zones that are in our district. We have central time zone and eastern time zone. Because I live in the eastern time zone, I'm the one that puts most of these in here because I'm PQD this year. If you live in the central time zone, all of this stuff bounces back, not just an hour, but a whole day. There's a glitch in the Free Toast Host website. So if you're sitting in central time zone, this training from October 5th probably shows on October 4th. It all moves back a day. If you're in the central time zone and you put a training on here, it pushes it up a day. So instead of seeing this on the 5th, I see this on the 6th. And the last one here on the 8th, I will see on the 9th. It's just a glitch. We can't fix it. It's just one of those things that's on the website developed by somebody's 4th grade nephew, which is one of the big reasons why we're trying to change this, and we're looking to try to get this done over the next couple of months. But there's always a calendar out there of what's happening. Every couple of months, I do screenshots of this and send the screenshots out to everybody so that you all know what's happening where and when. So questions about like the calendar, questions about where the training is, any of the stuff that's out there, who has questions about any of that stuff? How many of you knew the calendar was there? Couple. How many of you have used the calendar? How many of you have a 5th grade nephew that could help us out instead of the 4th grade nephew? Okay, we want to talk. We want to meet your nephews. We're working to do a regular website. It's going to be something that's probably going to be WordPress based, and will just be more user friendly. Probably end up being some sort of a Google form calendar as well, that you can then click on it and it'll go into your actual calendar. Because the one that we have now, this Free Toast House, if you click on it, it is as user friendly as the calendar hanging on your grandmother's refrigerator in 1972. That didn't download anywhere, neither does this one. So we're trying to do something that will catch up with the 20th century at least, so that you can click on it, have it download into your personal calendars too. We're trying to get caught up a little bit with technology here. So it's a lot of stuff. What other questions do you have? Anything else we can answer for you? Have you liked doing all this stuff online this year? Has it been helpful at all? Has it been convenient? Denise,
I find it to be very convenient.
you found it very convenient. Good. Okay.
Because I can visit other clubs in other places.
Nice. Okay. What did we miss this year? What should we have for next year that we didn't do this year? And the crowd goes silent. So if there's something out there that you're like, we wish you would have done this thing this year, besides meeting in person. I get that. That's always the first thing somebody says is, I want to meet in person. We can't do that. So if there's some training out there, some opportunity out there that you would like to have, let us know. We'll add stuff in. You can see that there's a bunch of trainings that we've done in the past couple of months that are not Toastmasters specific. Storytelling, not Toastmasters specific. How to build new habits, not Toastmasters specific. The differences between managing and leading. All these things were suggested by you all because we want to make sure that we're giving you what you need. So if there's something else out there that you're just like, I wish I would know more about this thing, we want to do that. Also, if there's something out there that you can teach, like especially this, because we're going to have education segments for spring conference week. If you know a lot about, say, editing of videos, we want you to do a session because we don't know squat about editing videos. I know nothing about it. I know how to delete the video I'm trying to edit so I can't get it back. I've done that before this year. I know how to cut out the part that I want to keep and can't get that back. I know how to do that. Not helpful. But if you know how to edit videos, if your 6th grade nephew knows how to do that, we want to meet your 6th grade nephew or niece. We want to meet these people because we don't know the stuff that we don't know. We're figuring this out the same way y'all are. I was not prepared to spend a year talking to y'all through a camera like this. I thought we were going to do this in person. We want to know all the things that you guys do that you just have spent a lifetime acquiring knowledge about that we haven't. So if you have those things, you're like, I think this would help the district. I think this would help you so you don't delete the videos anymore, Scott. That kind of stuff. I'm not the only one, I guarantee it. So let us know. We will give you a slot. We will make sure that we give you a voice so you can do whatever you want. If there's something that you want to practice, you're like, I have this huge presentation for this new thing I need to try out, let us know. We have a bunch of people that would love just to get together and listen to you and help you out. There's endless possibilities. The goal is to help all of you succeed magnificently. And by the time you come out of quarantine, you're way better than what you were when you went into quarantine. Clearly, one of the reasons why we did this wasn't just because we wanted to give you a chance to train. We wanted to give you a chance to gather. Part of the whole idea of the roundtable is to make it feel just mildly more normal. That when you went to a meeting, you heard different voices, you saw different people, you could ask different questions. There's a little bit of normalcy. We're trying to create this mild sense of sanity through the district by bringing you all together on a regular basis. We hope this helped this year. So anything else we can answer for before we bounce for the night? I
have a question. Denise. So how many of the clubs in our district have the youth component of Toastmasters?
Not enough. Not enough. If the ones that they seem to be more centralized around universities. So there's 3 clubs at Purdue that all have, I wouldn't say youth necessarily, but they're all college age kids. There's a couple at University of Evansville that are kind of more centralized towards students. There's 2 at IU. There's at least 1 at Notre Dame, 1 at the Kelley School of Business. but they're the ones that are most centralized. We do have, like, our youngest members are 18.
Mm.
There's not a lot of them. Not a lot of them. We have an aging population of Toastmasters in Indiana because we have an aging population in Indiana. It's reflective. But if you really want to know stuff out there, if you really are looking to tap into the youth, Purdue, Evansville, and Notre Dame have the 3 most active campuses for Toastmasters.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Ivy Tech in Northwest Indiana. So Ivy Tech TLC.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. What else? All right. Well, if you've not already done so, please remember to enter your name, your club name, and the role or roles that you hold. So your name, your club name, and the offices that you hold within your club. Enter those into the chat feature. I'll be going old school, and I take snapshots of that literally. Well, with a camera, with a phone. I don't pull out a Polaroid and do that. But it makes it easier for me to enter stuff into the spreadsheets if I do that instead of screenshots. So make sure you put into the chat feature your name, your club's name, and the offices that you hold. I always said roles, and then all of a sudden, a couple of months, like a month ago, folks started entering stuff like I was grammarian, I was the counter, I gave a speech. I'm like, that's awesome. That's not what I meant, but that's awesome stuff. So the offices that you hold, the club name and your name, put those in the chat, and we'll make sure that we give you credit for this. So I'm going to hit stop recording here.